Greetings, programs. NeoMegaMan back again for part 16 of Let's Play Katawa Shoujo Rin's Path. Last time, we got the bad ending. This time we're going to go for something a little better. We're going to tell Rin it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter whether I understand you or not. I just want to know. I can't. She's like a stone wall. I just can't reach through to Rin. It's impossible for me. Fine, I don't care. You wanted to change, you wanted to destroy yourself, you want this exhibition more than anything, right? Yes. Okay, then do it. She doesn't even respond or show acknowledgement of understanding. I'm grinding my teeth together, frustrated beyond anything I thought possible. I want to grab Rin's shoulders and shake her until she comes to her senses. I look at her, and in that moment I know with crystal clear certainty that there is nothing I can do for Rin. None of the words I know could reach her. But still, I think that for whatever reason, you think it's important that you go this way all the way to the end, even if it's not healthy for you on many different levels. But I'll have nothing to do with it. I can't accept being treated like this and not understanding the reasons for it. I'm finished here. The full weight of what I said sinks in the silent distance between us. Rin doesn't show any reaction nor even blink her eyes. She just stares at her through me quietly. That's fine. Her voice is perfectly calm, emotionless like an announcement that the 7:30 train will be 7 minutes late. With those words, Rin made her choice and I made mine. If either of us secretly wanted to change our mind, it's too late for that. I take a long, hard look at Rin, hoping that it conveys my feelings. Without knowing whether it does or not, I leave the atelier for the last time, feeling empty and anxious like so many times before. And that, ladies and germs, leads us into Act 4. Dream. I make it in time for class, though not in time for breakfast. The classroom is bathing in the gentle light of the sun. It means that it's going to be intolerably hot this afternoon. For now, though, it's pleasant. I look at Misha and Shizune's animated discussion about whatever. Hanako staring out of the classroom windows. Muto stumbling into the classroom 4 minutes late with no recollection of what he's supposed to be teaching today. I could never imagine dropping out of school just like that, even if it's only for a few weeks. On the other hand, Rin doesn't seem to have a problem with the idea or going through with it. Then again, somehow I got caught along in her insane isolation, even if we ended up hurting each other. Or did we? Maybe only I got hurt. It takes me until the late in the afternoon to realize that today is Monday. The art club meets today. Not just that, due to the exams, this will be the last art club meeting before summer vacation. I have no real business going there. But I want to talk with the teacher. Why do you want to talk to Nomiya? So I end up loitering awkwardly in front of the art room, waiting for the meeting to end. That's it for this trimester, everyone! His voice is loud enough to be heard through the door, way too enthusiastic for it to be genuine. The next meeting is after summer vacations, on the Monday of the first week of next term. I hope to see everyone there again. Have a nice vacation! There's a confused answering chorus of voices, and the door to the classroom opens, releasing a flow of students. I wait for everyone else to leave so that I can talk to Nomiya alone. It's almost dinner time, so I don't have to wait too long. Nomiya is looking through the paintings, some of which are actually pretty nice. Rin might outclass everyone else in the art club, but she isn't the only one with talent. Excuse me, teacher? What is it, Nikai? He raises his eyebrows questioningly, smiling widely. It's about Rin. Oh? Is something wrong with Tezuka? Well, no, but... I hesitate for a split second, not certain how to say what I want to say, giving Nomiya enough time to start blabbering by himself. I saw her a few days ago when I was passing by Sae's gallery. She said she'd get 1 or 2 more paintings done for the exhibition. I was quite pleased. She's a surprisingly hard worker. I always thought she was a bit lazy, doing what she wants instead of the assignments. He seems to notice my anxiety and realizes he is digressing, shutting up before finishing the thought. But you had something to talk about. What is it? I don't know. She feels detached from everything, as if she can't think of anything but the exhibition. Well, isn't that good? She's focused on her painting, as she should be. Yeah, but this is different. It's like she's obsessed. I went to see her, and... Have you been bothering her? He cuts in before I finish saying what I meant to say, instantly looking quite irritated. No, I don't think so. I'm just concerned because she stops coming to school completely. She feels strange, too. Stranger than usual, at the very least. Humbug! This is much more important for her than some lousy math class, or physics, or whatever. This is exactly why this school is so flexible, to give every student a chance to fulfill themselves. Tezuka is a painter, so she should paint, no? And have an exhibition. That's what artists do. She should be allowed to concentrate on that, not those other frivolous classes. She should be encouraged. If you think about it, this is really quite obvious. His counter-arguments are not very convincing, but I'm having a hard time trying to make any kind of rebuttal. My grudging silence is interpreted as assent, and Nomiya turns to shuffle his stack of turned-in assignments on his desk like a deck of cards. I have to say, while we're talking about Tezuka's exhibition, I'm very excited to see how it turns out. She's still so young, yet has such a wonderful skill and style. He's talking into the air to relax the mood that got a bit too negative. I take it that you'll be attending? Yeah, I guess so. Well, we'll meet there next. I take that as my cue to leave, and I do, although I'm not happy about it. My message didn't get through, to say the least. Well, there's a familiar sign. The day after that, all the missed opportunities and things I should have said come crashing down on me. There's nothing left to do afterwards but brood. Second day, I begin to feel anxious. I start doubting my doubt, and it feels stupid, especially since I still can't talk or think about anything else other than Rin. Third day, Japanese exam and world history exam. Great. The thing I hate most about her is that she can make me feel this awful even though I should be focusing on entirely different stuff right now. Well, don't fail your exams there, dumbass. Fourth day, math exam. We have a math exam. It goes how it goes. I don't care. Fifth day. Nomiya asks me again if I will attend the exhibition opening. I can't say no to him even though I seriously want to. I just don't want to discuss with him anything Rin related, so it's just better to take the path of least resistance. On the sixth day, the day before the exhibition opening, I find Rin standing in the hallway in front of my room when I return to the dorms after dinner. What are you doing here? My tone is angrier than I intended. I'm a little disappointed that I was unable to restrain myself, but it can't be helped. Rin just stands there, like she just happened to be coincidentally standing around here where she has no business being. The way she reacts so coolly to everything annoys me now. This is not good. It's been 6 days, and the sight of her has me boiling. She hasn't even opened her mouth yet. Finished painting. Shouldn't you be at the gallery, preparing? They said no. I guess the gallery owner does that part then. Getting the paintings framed, hung on the walls and whatnot. So why are you here? Felt like it. Same old stupid pattern emerges again. Me asking her questions, to which she replies with answers that don't answer anything, because it's the only way we can converse. Apart from me listening to her blabbering about whatever, which isn't really a conversation. Is this a play? Are there some unseen roles we have unknowingly set ourselves into, dictating the rules of engagement whenever we see each other, inevitably leading us to hurting each other? Her nonchalant answers, accompanied by an even more nonchalant shrugs, leave me none the wiser. I guess I should be happy the exhibition preparations are complete. When I walk into my room, I hear her footsteps following me in. I didn't invite her in. I won't ask her to leave. She claims my bed without asking permission, making me wish that I had taken the time to make it before I left in the morning, then stands up again as though she sat on hot coals. I half lean against the single corner of my desktop that isn't cluttered with stuff, to rest my legs at least a little bit. Rin spends a few moments glancing curiously around my room, and it makes me realize that she's never seen it before. For a moment, she actually looks like she's concentrating, trying to get everything. This must be the eye for detail that makes her an artist. Since the room is small, she quickly runs out of things to look at, but nothing else transpires, allowing the uncomfortable silence to take over the atmosphere. Again. The mood is chilly, to say the least, and both of us are on guard, waiting for the other to make the first move. Hey, it's kind of like chess. Of course, Rin could play this game forever, so it has to be me. So I give up because she'd never try to open conversation, and because it seems that she wants to say something and I want to get it over with. Why else would she be here if she didn't want to talk? I don't know what to say myself. I want to be angry, but I can't bring myself to yell at her or anything. My voice catches her attention, and she tries to search for words as well, but it seems that she's not entirely certain as to why she's here either. And so Rin simply takes a few steps to close the distance between us, and rises on the tips of her toes to even out the height difference. It was a bad idea. Maybe you should forget about it, and I will too. It's a reflex, and almost as an afterthought, the words no, yes, and maybe simultaneously surface in my mind. My hand is between her lips and mine, a wall that I raise to guard against something. Her breath feels warm against my fingers. The scent of her skin lingers about, the mysterious, indescribable sensation that captures me and draws my eyes deep into hers. The look in her eyes is surprised, quizzical as to why the impertinent hand prevented her advances. Her eyes are really big and glistening with moisture, staring right into my own with a soft gaze that I'm having a hard time to match. Rin's half-open mouth makes her look even more confused, although the sensual way her lips are arching is signaling something completely different. Please? I need you. The words come from her throat as a coarse whisper, meant only for me, bypassing her tongue and teeth without giving them any chance to interrupt. God, she looks so sad. They sober me in an instant, and I clumsily flinch back to get a little bit of distance between us, painfully scraping against my desk in the process. Dumbass. Maybe it's her choice of words, maybe the way she says it, but something in it puts me off. Something's wrong. Something is terribly wrong again. Need me for what? All the unpleasant feelings emerge again, and I feel my heartbeat suddenly increasing at least tenfold. Rin's eyes go out of focus and back again as her body relaxes from its tense state and she stands upright again. I don't think I was thinking about anything. Why do you draw patterns in that dust on your night table? There's a word for that kind of thing, but I can't remember. Her remark almost throws me off track, and I glance over her shoulder at the small table next to my bed, but I can't see anything from this distance. So she needs me for nothing specific? Just happened to come by because she thought I'd be glad to see her, after she shut me out, no complaints accepted, for a week? Completely altruistic motives? Felt like it? Bullshit. I can answer myself. To play mind games with whenever you want, to kiss whenever you want, to ignore whenever you want, to fulfill your whims whenever you want? Is that it? What you need me for? My voice is sounding very angry again, even to myself. I went for a more exasperated tone. Good. Rin, too, finally catches the mood, and her curious expression changes instantly to something more uncharacteristic. No. She leaves it at that, her eyes restlessly wandering around, searching my room, as if the words she were trying to find were written in the tapestries of my walls. Then what? I needed to paint. Paint. Of course. That's what artists do. The words reverberate through my being, beating in my blood over the piercing whistle of my anger. Don't give me that, Rin. I'm not some damn muse of yours free to play with for the sake of painting. I'm not some medium for whatever you aspire to. I am me. So what if I don't know anything about my future? There's things I want and things I care about. Even I can dream of things other than nightmares. I'm yelling, but I'm way past the point of caring about things like that. Rin looks down at her toes and wiggles them a little melancholically while she takes in my outburst without saying anything to defend herself. Is it just me, or is this ringing a bell? Only after I've finished does she try to respond somehow. I can't do anything else. Or I can do all sorts of things, but I can't do. It's the only thing I sort of do properly most of the time. I understand completely. Art first, everything else second or thousandth. What about me? Am I nothing? When I was interested in art, did that make you feel like I was a little interesting for a little while? Tell me, I really want to know. Did you ever think about my perspective, or is it just all you? The words rise like bile in my throat. She looks alarmed and also completely uncomprehending, as if she doesn't understand what I'm angry about. I can't believe she could be so stupid. I didn't want to... This time it's Rin who interrupts herself in mid-sentence. Don't you understand? I can't. Can't what? You never explain. How am I supposed to understand anything if you never say anything? Why don't you ever talk? Say something. But she doesn't. Venting my anger at her feels satisfying. It feels wrong to take so much satisfaction in it, but I can't stop. Not wanting to face my anger head on, Rin turns around to steadfastly look out of my window, even though there's nothing to look at. The worst of my ire gone, I shut up as I can't be bothered to keep on yelling at the back of her head, so silence finally returns. I try and discern some hints of her reaction through my adrenaline-distorted vision. My feedback was not the best kind, but I hope Rin got the clue that she just can't ignore everything else whenever she feels like it. I'd hate it if she didn't. She never listens to anything. She's so unaffected by the world around her. Not this time, it seems. Her body's shaking like from holding back tears, but I already know that Rin is not crying. Her indifference made me so furious. Now that it's gone, I'm at a loss. I wonder, did I go too far? Look, Go away. Go away, Hisao. Her voice is tiny and tired as she says this, but I hear the words clear as day. What is there to say anymore? This is my room. The blunt, hollow remark is a fitting conclusion for this unpleasant discussion that became even more unpleasant and very one-sided yelling match. After a moment of collecting herself, Rin just gives up. I can see it from the way she slumps her shoulders and walks out. Even though she deliberately looks to the other direction, I can see how she's biting the corner of her lips so hard it might start bleeding if she won't stop. As she makes her exit, I realize that she left the door open when she came in, and my yelling must have echoed down the dorm hallways. I sigh. Now that she's alone, I'm left alone with my guilt. As the thumping in my chest slowly subdues, anxiety replaces it. Somehow I feel none of this would have ever happened if not for me. No matter how infuriating, unbearable, and outrageous Rin is, she's not the Rin I thought I knew. Or the Rin that I expected Rin to be. Was it me who caused all this by talking Rin into taking her chances with the exhibition? Am I directly responsible for Rin becoming like she has been for the past few weeks? I can't think of any other explanation for her weird behavior than the exhibition and all the things that came along with it. Maybe it was the only way that could have brought us closer, but all it did was separate us further away from each other, and now beyond the reach of either of us. I bang my head hard against the wall, twice to make sure it hurts. Ah, boy, Hisao, you idiot. A headache is relentlessly thumping against the back of my head as I push open the door to the 22nd corner. Apart from that, I'm perfectly calm. After venting on Rin all that anger I had bottled inside, it felt like a great weight had been lifted from my heart. The tension that had grasped my mind for the past few weeks faded away without leaving even a shadow behind. In this nearly zen-like state of enlightenment, I realized that perhaps it was a bad idea to yell at her like that. No shit, Sherlock. I really meant it, but what good does blowing up like that do? Nothing. I'm not like that. I don't normally yell at people. I don't know why I did yesterday. So I keep feeling really guilty about it and wanting to take my words back. Rin is probably upset too. Even more than my own behavior, her reaction shocked me. I've always thought of her as unchanging, detached from her surroundings, so that my yelling to get her so up felt out of place. I wonder if she understands how I feel. In Rin's world, everything seems to be so absolute and subjective. Absolutely subjective, as if she was completely unable to see things from other points of view than her own. Excuse me. But ultimately, is anyone able to do it? Maybe objectivity and altruism are just illusions for people who like to think of themselves as compassionate. Just like art is an illusion for people who think reality is merely a veil for something greater. Even when you stop thinking that world revolves around you, or start thinking outside of the mythical box, you're just inside another bigger box that you can't escape. Maybe that ultimately makes her like the rest of us. It was a long thought for just stepping through a doorway. I stepped through the door to find a gallery full of illusioned people. Despite Sae's remarks during my earlier visits, I always thought it was very spacious, but now when it's crowded like this, it looks positively cramped. I immediately noticed Sae standing in the middle of a lively discussion, busily chattering with some old gentlemen. She's actually pretty tall and kind of cool looking, so she stands out in the crowd. There are a few dozen wine glasses laid along the table on the back wall, filled with a burgundy liquid. A vast majority of the guests are sipping from their own glasses. I think I'll refrain. The socialites and art connoisseurs are mingling happily, exchanging mild opinions about Rin's art, which seems to be a secondary object of interest for most. I feel distant, excluded from other people here. I can't claim even at a stretch to be a social chameleon, so this situation is quite unnerving. Since I don't blend into the crowd at all, I just fake that I do, trying to look as cool and smooth as I can. Not as smooth as your haircut there, Hisao. I wonder how Rin is handling all this. If it was me, I'd be quite freaked out. Throwing the anxiety aside, I try to carefully navigate through the crowd, stealing peeks at the framed paintings now hanging on the walls. Rin's exhibition takes about half the gallery's wall space. Some paintings are less familiar than others, but I recognize most of them. Some I've seen being created at the club meetings, after all, or remember from the time Rin was choosing her portfolio. I noticed that a couple of the unfinished paintings are framed and on the wall as well. Maybe that's what they call coincidental art? Even Rin's failures, if you can call them that, became exhibits of her skill. Quite paradoxical. She herself is nowhere to be seen, which is strange because even though it's crowded, the gallery is pretty small. It's fine, sort of. I don't know how to face her after yesterday. Maybe I shouldn't have even come. But I promised various people, Rin included, that I would, so... Damn. It sounds like I do things because of some kind of instinctual properness compels me to, not because it would be sensible, or not. I sneak closer to Sae to wait for a lull in the conversation so I can chat her up too. Even though her voice is almost completely buried into the general background noise, I hear bits and pieces of her talking about Rin. Yes, she is a high schooler at the local school. Even though she's graduating next year, I'm sure various art schools would be interested in... I thought it'd be interesting to have an exhibition of someone who is still in early stages of development. It's so strange. It's like Rin is some kind of mini-celebrity, even though this is nothing but a small exhibition opening at a small art gallery of a small town. In fact, there's a friend of mine from... It's Isao! My eavesdropping is interrupted by a familiar voice and a familiar slap to the back. I don't need to guess the source of either, even without turning around. Oh, I thought it was Nomia. Derp, derp. Hi, Emmy. Hi! Are you like a representative of the art club or something? I don't see anyone else from the school here. I don't know, really. I guess I am, if that's the case. What about you? What about me? You didn't think I'm interested in art? Is that it, Hisao? No, that's not what I... Well, maybe a little if you put it that way. I mean, even though you hang out with Rin, I've never heard you talk about art with her, so... And he huffs and looks around her, looking discontented. It's true, I don't get it at all, but she came to my track meet, so I thought it's only fair to return the favor. She leans closer, trying to look confidential, but only managing to look conspiring. Do you get art? No. No, I don't. At all. My emphasizing headshake draws a giggle and a cheery headshake of her own out of Emmy. Me neither. Hey, let's go talk with Rin. I bet you haven't yet, because I haven't either. Come on! Oh, crap. Before she has a chance to forcefully drag me to Rin, Nomia appears behind her with Rin in his tow. She's not dressed for the occasion, instead opting for the usual school uniform and unkempt hair. What were you expecting, Hisao? Maybe her natural look is what suits her the best. Hello, teacher! Hi, Rin! Unfazed, Emmy greets the teacher cheerfully, causing him to turn around and look down confusedly. Who are you? I'm Emmy, from school, class 3-4. Don't you remember? She looks positively shocked at the prospect that there could be a person who doesn't know her. Oh, sorry. You're in the same class as Tezuka is, right? Yeah. You'll have to pardon me. I have trouble remembering students who don't take art. Don't mind, don't mind. Hi, Rin. Hello. Congratulations for your super cool art thing. I'm sure you'll be a big hit. She throws her arms into the air for boisterous emphasis, almost hitting me in the face. And look, Hisao came too. Rin doesn't look at me, nor does she greet me. Congratulations, Rin. She keeps averting her gaze, pointedly looking at her sandals. Oblivious to the tension between us and ignorant of what happened yesterday, Emmy keeps blabbering on about this and that to an unresponsive Rin. I guess she's used to not getting much out of her at times. Before long, Nomiya and Sae turn to Rin, introducing her. Expecting it, I catch the second of confusion when the guests see her arms. Sae is luckily on the ball and briefly explains about our school. Doubtful faces quickly change to curious. Would you mind telling us something about your art? I thought the development is quite easily noticeable. What do you think of the differences between the older and more current works? It's quite rare for someone so young to dabble into abstraction. It would have been interesting to see how you work. Oh, definitely. I assume you use your feet? Must have been a great trouble to learn it. You should be proud. I, um... Will you be pursuing a career as an artist after school? She's bombarded with so many questions she can't even hope to answer all of them. Maybe that's for the best. Rin tends to talk nonsense more than occasionally. So where do you get your ideas? That's the fifth worst. Rin keeps stumbling with her words, looking more and more vexed by the expected inquiries. Everyone's waiting for her to say something, but she looks like a cat got her tongue. Each question piling up just adds to her distress. I fail to hear the question that is the proverbial one too many. It's like a motor stalling. Rin just freezes for a long, long second until she falls on her knees, hitting the floor ungracefully like a sack of potatoes. Are you alright? I don't know. Tezuka, what's wrong, girl? I don't know what's wrong. A terrible silence falls upon the people gathered around Rin. Everyone is petrified, not knowing how to react to her sudden seizure or something. She breathes with deep, trembling gasps as if she was running out of air, staring ahead of herself with hollow eyes. Seeing that nobody does anything, I force myself to step to Rin and lift her up from the floor, letting her lean against me to keep standing. Would you like some fresh air? Okay, let's go outside for a bit. I don't even wait for her to answer before grasping her shoulder and pulling her past the stunned-looking Nomiya, Sae, Emmy, and guests. Excuse us. The cool evening breeze hits my face at the door. I let go of Rin and she leans against the stone wall, trying to catch her breath. Are you alright? I couldn't say anything. Rin's still not looking at me, so I look away too. The streetlights and colored neon signs twist my vision into a blur of near blindness, forcing me to look back. At least she talks, even if she's not directing her words to me. What did you want to say? Maybe both of us can imagine that we're talking to an invisible friend. I don't know. Something that would have meant something. The silence lasts for a long time. I don't feel comfortable being alone with Rin. I'm not good at imagining things that don't exist, or things that exist don't. We should go back in. The guests Sae invited her in there. They probably want to meet you and talk with you. You know, ask questions and stuff about those paintings you worked so hard for. I don't want them to ask me questions like that. I can never say the right things. What do you want then? That someone wouldn't have to ask questions from me. Alright, I'm gonna be a bastard here and save. Because this is the final decision gate in the game. One choice will lead you to the neutral ending. The other choice will lead you to the good ending. And both of those will have to wait for another time. So, bastardry or not, I'm your host, NeoMegaMan. Signing out. End of line.